Today is the first day of the rest of your life, and your future planning started yesterday. You need simple, easy strategies to create maximum results. This is The Scotty Show. Time to get your ducks in a row with Scott Leonardi, owner and president of Complete Solutions, Inc. As a certified financial fiduciary with 25 years in the planning industry, Scott helps educate you on how you can make the best decisions for your family and your finances, and helps you get your ducks in a row for your incredible future. Let's get started.
Hello and welcome to The Scotty Show with Scott Leonardi. Scott, what's going on?
Hey, nothing's going on. Everything's going great.
Yeah, well,
awesome.
That's
How you doing?
That's a lie.
That's not a lie. What are you talking about? Everything's awesome.
You just told me off air that just a couple weeks ago, your son got married. That is so exciting.
Well, it's awesome because that's over, right? That's over. Yeah. So yeah, my oldest son got married. I'm excited about that. The crazy thing is that we actually had the wedding at my house. So
at your house.
I'm crazy exhausted is what I am basically. Yeah, we had it at our house, and of course, when you have guests at the house, what do you got to do? You got to fix the landscape, and you got to trim some trees. You got to paint a room. You got all this kind of junk going on. So my wife had me running like crazy for like 4 weeks. I'm limping and all that kind of good stuff. So,
honey, that shingle looks crooked. Can you get on a 40-foot ladder and straighten that out for me?
Exactly right. Yeah, that tree over there. Are you going to leave that like that? And I'm like, well, I was gonna, but yeah, squirrels like it. I said, okay, put it on the list, honey. Put it on the list. So I forgot. After I kept saying that for a while, I thought, I better go look at this list. I go back and look at this list, and I'm like, holy crap! I need to stop saying put it on the list. So Lord have mercy.
You got a wheelbarrow just to carry your list.
Just to carry the list, exactly right. But the wedding was awesome. My oldest son, like I say, I got 5 kids, and my oldest son Michael got married. It was a perfect wedding. Where the weather was great, nice. Beautiful sunshine, a breeze going on. It rained the last half hour of the reception, which was perfectly fine because we already had tents and everything, but just in case to begin with.
Nice.
So that was kind of good. So any guests listening that were there, don't take offense to this, but the beautiful thing about the rain in the last half hour of the reception is, okay, it's time to go. Yeah, goodbye. Thanks for coming. Goodbye.
Fun. Take a plane.
I love to have visitors, but I was exhausted. I'm like, okay, great. Thanks for coming. It's raining. Right. Bye-bye.
That's right.
So turn the wire on. That kind of helps a little bit. So
yeah, it's one of those things. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Thanks for coming, but bye-bye.
That's right. Hey, I love the fact that you're tackling a subject today that most advisors don't. I'll just be honest. I've worked with advisors for a very, very long time, and they don't like to talk about fees and commissions and how advisors get paid, but you're tackling this head on today. I love this.
Yeah, well, I think it just makes sense because I think there's a lot of misunderstanding, and then sometimes you hear, well, my goodness gracious, that advisor he's only telling me this because he's going to make a fee or he's only going to make a commission, or and a lot of that is just hogwash, and the reason being is people just don't understand it. I mean, let's face facts. Most of us should probably realize if we're working with a professional, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, somebody, well, they're going to get paid, right? They do that for a living. So some type of a structure or fee is going to be occurring. And so I think most people really realize, an advisor, a planner, an insurance person, they're going to get paid some type of a fee. But again, the misunderstanding of that is pretty prevalent out there. And I think it's important.
But I am going to give you a little pushback on that because there are advisors out there. There are insurance agents out there that are out to sell things. And that's the bad rap that it's one of those things where if you experience it one time and you have an advisor that just isn't that great, oh, well, all advisors do this or all insurance agents do this. My wife and I experienced that the first time we bought insurance policy. It was We bought it, the agent disappeared, and 10 years later, when the term was just about up, all of a sudden we got a call. Oh, hey, we'd love to take care of you and your family. Dude, you haven't talked to me in 10 years.
Yeah, where's the service been the whole entire time?
Exactly. And so they give other people a bad rap, and I love the fact that you're tackling this because that's what you're not. You're not about that. You're not about the commissions. You're not about the sales.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And the key is just, it boils down to dealing with somebody you trust. That's where it boils down to. Because I don't care if you got a doctor, you got an attorney, you got an accountant, anybody. You get the human being involved, and you're going to run across some unscrupulous people, right? Some that are going to do the wrong things no matter what, just to benefit them. And so, of course, there's a lot been talk lately, in the last year or two, about a certified financial fiduciary or a fiduciary. What's a fiduciary? Deal with a fiduciary, and I understand that, and I am a certified financial fiduciary. But it's kind of sad we have to have training and certifications to make somebody a certified financial fiduciary that makes sure they're going to do the right thing. I mean, we should have to have training for somebody to actually do the right thing, right? Certified financial fiduciary is supposed to do what's in the best interest of the customer. Well, again, we shouldn't need training for that. People should always do what's in the best interest of the customer.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah. But that kind of stuff happens. And let's face it, you got unscrupulous people that do the wrong thing in every single profession out there. So you're 100% accurate. 100% accurate.
All right. So let's start in. What show me the difference between fees and commissions.
Yeah. So again, there's a variety of different scenarios of this, but fees. So fees are typically going to be charged for certain things. Like, if somebody's doing a brokerage account, managed money, some type of a stocks and bond portfolio, what have you. Then there's typically going to be fees assessed to that, a management fee. Now, there could be multiple fees, account opening fees, closing fees, low balance fees. Again, a variety of different potential fees that could be associated with that account. But one of the most common fees, obviously, is a management fee. And if you look out there and say, okay, great, what's the, kind of the average fee? Who charges what? Probably across the board, probably the average fee is 1%, 1.2% is probably an average fee. And that fee is just based on the account balance. Typically, it's charged annually and paid quarterly and a couple different scenarios there. But it's actually just a management fee, a percentage of the account, right? And again, the average across the board probably is 1.2. Now, I've seen fees as high as 1.45, 1.6, things like that. I've seen a crazy fee the other day, not too long ago, a little over 2%, which is crazy high. And of course, that advisor sells it to his customers because he basically sees more than everybody else. He's the amazing Kreskin. Remember the amazing Kreskin?
I don't, but I'm assuming
Johnny Carson. Johnny Carson. Oh my God!
Okay. I
used to watch Johnny Carson as a kid, right?
The envelope.
He used to put the head thing on, whatever you call that, head fez or whatever that thing is called, right? And he'd be the amazing Kreskin. He'd be able to project what's in the envelope. But crazily enough, obviously we all have the same crystal ball, and you have to judge through. And my business partner Chris Strehle, we actually just recently did a podcast that talks about investing and passive versus aggressive management. And we did a great podcast on that kind of stuff, talking through this kind of stuff. But anyways, we all kind of see the same things. And of course, a reasonable fee is expected. I mean, you're paying for professional advice. So it kind of makes sense. So, but that fee is paid on the investment account. So it's actually paid out of your funds, out of your money. Okay. Which again is understandable. But the key to that is you just need it. You should be asking some questions and just understand, what are the management fees to understand what it is. I mean, you as the consumer should kind of understand those numbers. And some people don't necessarily care. They say, if I make money, well, I don't care if the advisor makes money. And that is true. That's probably, that's understandable. But again, just having a discussion just kind of makes sense. And then sometimes a fee can be charged for just processing. I mean, we do a full-blown holistic planning approach. And if you get on my website, duckduckplan.com, you can watch a couple of videos of what our process is and our planning process. So, I always talk about holistic. You have to look at retirement planning holistically, right? I mean, it's not just one or two things that are important. It's looking at the whole package. So an example like Social Security maximization, the best way to take your Social Security. Well, there's some cool reports that we can produce for a customer. Well, some advisors will charge a fee to run that report. I don't charge fees for that kind of stuff. My philosophy is if I do a good job educating you and helping you, well, in the future, if you need a product or service and you like me, right, you've enjoyed working with me, you trust me, then consider doing that business with us. And that's how we ultimately get paid. Okay. And so there's nothing wrong with charging fees for that kind of stuff, but just kind of a different approach. Or maybe somebody would put together a whole retirement plan and say, I'll design this whole plan for you. I'm going to charge you $3,000. It's a whole retirement plan. Go find the products and services you need from somebody else, but I'm just going to create the plan. So those can be fees that are charged directly to the consumer that a consumer would actually pay. And it's okay to pay fees as long as they're reasonable, and we kind of understand that. But then the other discussion comes with commissions. Well, what's the difference between a fee and a commission? A commission is just paid on an insurance-based product, right? So a commission's paid on, life insurance and long-term care and Medicare, any insurance-based products. Annuities is an insurance-based product, right? So typically those products are it's going to pay the advisor, the insurance agent, a planner. It's going to pay them a specific commission. Well, the commission is paid by the insurance company, so it doesn't come out of the investment account, right? Yeah. So it's paid from the general accounts of the insurance company. So yeah, people say, well, how does the insurance company get the money? Well, it's based on doing business. I get that again, but it's not coming out of your specific account. Mm-hmm. And I know you do a lot of podcasts with other folks out there. And so you probably have had some thoughts on this commission versus fees out there, right? I'm sure you probably heard some stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing is I always liken it to, I was explaining this to my daughter, and she's never had an issue with it either. But if you were to ask a mechanic to build you an engine that would get you from point A to point B, and then during your lifetime, that mechanic says, you know what, I'm going to just check in with you, check the engine, check the, make sure everything's running smoothly, so on and so forth, to make sure that you're going to go from A to B. Would you pay that mechanic to build that engine for you? Would you pay that mechanic the time involved in making sure that everything's running on all cylinders and you're headed in the right direction? To me, that's exactly what fees are for an advisor that's taking care of you from point A to point B, which is usually retirement. I mean, that's usually what most people's goals are. And then that's only fair. They're the professional. I can't build an engine, and I don't want to learn how to build an engine, Scott. I mean, that's the whole thing is I don't have the time for that. That's why you go to a professional. And as far as commissions are concerned, you and I were talking before we started the show that we bought a new bed, right? I went to a place where I know that the young lady that we were working with was going to get a possible commission. So when it came time to actually do the purchase, after my research, we went back to the same place. There was another young man that was very friendly, very nice, eager. I was like, you know what? I'm actually working with Jessica already. Oh, did she already make the sale? Nope. But she already gave me the information. So I'm going to make sure that she gets her commission because that's only fair. That's the way to do it.
That's how people provide a living. And you're right. And the point that you made a minute ago makes sense. And we all want to save a nickel. And I want to save money. We all want to save money. But sometimes you have to kind of analyze and say, okay, do I want to learn all this stuff myself, figure all this stuff myself, or should I go back and deal with a professional? Mm-hmm. And when you're talking about retirement planning, again, the crucial element of retirement planning, we go our whole entire life, build up our assets. We're going to decide when it's time to retire. And that's a difficult choice. I mean, many people struggle with, should I retire? Can I retire? Because they're trying to have to project out, is this money going to last my whole entire life? What other factors can come in that can take my money from me, right? And reduce those funds, i.e. possibly running out of money in the future. What other considerations should I consider when I'm thinking about my money? Because just because you have enough money sitting there doesn't necessarily mean you'll make it to the end, because a variety of other factors can take that money from you. So it only makes sense to, deal with a professional. Again, try to save money, but again, deal with a professional. And those professionals obviously kind of need to get paid. And I've heard conversations out there about, annuities, the dreaded annuity conversation, right? People say, well, annuities are high fees. Well, no, they're not. One is really high fees, the variable, right? Or annuities, the agent's only selling an annuity because he makes a commission. Well, no, that's not the case. I mean, if you're working with somebody, again, and trust and believes doing in your best interest, yeah, they're going to get paid. It's going to be one of the two. And annuities, it's kind of an interesting topic. So you analyze the fee. So if an average fee out there is 1.2%, let's just use 1%, the average annual fee, 1% on an investment account, right? Well, you take a look at clients out there and the average time they deal with an advisor, it's really close to 8 to 10 years. So and in our agency, we've got clients that average really right close to that 8 to 10 year mark. I've got many clients that we've dealt with for 20 some years, right? Mm-hmm. So again, if I'm dealing with a client, our agency or our group, my business partner's dealing with a client, and we're charging a 1% fee on an investment account, and we deal with them for 10 years. Well, guess what? That advisor made 10% commission over 10 years, right? Pretty easy math, right? Well, then they have the conversation with the annuity, and they say, well, the annuity that, the advisors are selling the annuity because he's making, 6% commission or 5% commission or 7% commission. He's making a big chunk of money. Well, again, the insurance agent that's marketing that product, they typically have one or two ways they can take that commission. Either they can take it in a lump sum. So if an advisor or insurance agent sold an insurance product, an annuity, and it paid a 6% commission, they took it in a lump sum, they make 6%, but that lump sum means no more commission. Mm-hmm. So it's a one-time pay, which means that same situation, that agent is going over annual statements and helping you, making some adjustments. And if it's an equity index annuity, every year or anniversary period, you're analyzing, should we make some adjustments in that? Okay. So they're doing that for, again, that same average 10-year period of time. They don't make any money on that any year after the very first year.
Yeah.
So in essence, in a lot of cases, the commissions, the amount the agent makes are higher with fees. So when I hear this talk, well, the guy's just selling him annuity because he's going to make a big commission. That's not accurate. I mean, that's just not accurate, right? I mean, theoretically, if you look at that 10-year mark on an average, an advisor agent would make less money selling an annuity, right? Now, of course, the agent could also on that same annuity product, and he's got the option to be able to take that as a trail. So he doesn't have to take a lump sum commission. He could take it in a trail and break it down. And maybe he gets 0.7% or 1% per year on the annuity commission. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it can work both ways. But, I guess I just tell people, if you're worried about what the agent's going to make, if he's making a commission or a fee, you have to back it up and say, well, first of all, do I trust this person? Is he giving me the accurate information? Does he truly want to help me? Is he giving me good, solid advice? And again, do I believe and trust this guy or girl? And if that's the case, and you think you need the product, then do business with them. But if you don't do business. Go find somebody else, right? Yeah. I told a guy the other day, he was just asking me, he kept asking about the commissions and the fees. And I always talk about it up front. I say, listen, I want to help you, advise you, help you understand things you should be taking a look at. I'll do a variety of different reports really to give you a good picture of what I'm talking about first. And I don't charge people for that. My philosophy is if we go through this and you start to believe me and trust me, you think I'm doing what's in your best interest and you need a product or service, guess what? You'll typically do business with me, and that's how I get paid. And if we don't do business with me, I tell people, wave to me when you see me at Kroger's. Tell your friends about me. It's okay. I've been doing this over 25 years. I do enough business. But if you don't trust that person, again, you need to do some adjustments and changes. Probably go find somebody you trust.
Yeah.
I mean, does that make sense? So that's what it really boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's just kind of interesting how you hear these conversations. Well, the guy's just doing it because of this, or the girl's just doing it because of this. Again, understand the planning. Make sure you trust the advisor, and then make the decisions. Because again, you've worked your whole entire life to accumulate your retirement. I call it your life's work. You've worked your whole entire life. Does it probably make sense that you probably need to make some changes along the way?
Mm-hmm. Well, here's the thing. Bottom line is that, and I'm hoping that you'll back me up on this, is that you need to trust your gut, right? If you're sitting with somebody and you don't trust them, or there are questions in your mind that just, I'm not sure. Here's the beauty. Go get a second opinion. And if the second person is telling you the same thing and it's along those same lines, it may just be you. You may just have this preconceived notion or whatever, and we all have to learn to get past those. Or the second person may tell you, I don't know, that first guy or first lady just wasn't, I don't think they're being straightforward with you. Then that confirms what you felt in your gut, and you go with the person that you do trust, just like you said. I mean, I just think there's nothing wrong with shopping around. I wouldn't make that big of a decision for your future without getting a couple of opinions and finding out what people think and what's best for you. And then who do you feel best working with? Who are you most comfortable with? There's nothing wrong with saying, I like this person, I'd rather work with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And sometimes you won't hear that from an advisor, planner, insurance agent because they're worried. I'm not worried. Check me out. I push people to our website all the time. I want them listening to my podcast. Go check me out. Look at my website. Watch a couple of the videos. So my videos talk through what our planning process is, what we consider, what we think about, what our process is. You got to be comfortable with the advisor. And if you're not, go get somebody else. Get a couple of different opinions, because here's the deal. There's not one investment guy or one planner or one insurance agent that's got all the best ideas. So there's different people that might specialize in different things that could throw another little twist at you that maybe the other person kind of wasn't thinking about. Right. Yeah. What do they say? There's more than one way to skin a cat. I don't know where the heck that ever came from. Who the heck skins a cat? Right. It's kind of disgusting, really. Yeah. But, I've heard that my grandpa used to say a long time ago, there's more than one way to skin a cat, Scott. And I'm like, well, God, I hope you haven't tried those ways, Grandpa.
Right. Nice boots, by the way, Grandpa.
Nice boots. Yeah, flurry. It's that a calico boot? What is that? What is that? Right. Now, I'm just playing for those cat lovers out there.
Siamese, right? The Siamese twin boots.
I'm going to be getting letters from the cat lovers. No, I'm just kidding.
That's right.
But no, the point is, you got to get comfortable with who you're dealing with. And again, if there's factors that you don't feel comfortable, then again, move on to somebody else. I mean, that's just what you have to do. But again, my goodness gracious, you got to look at your program. You got to look at the planning. You got to think. You got to become educated, and that's a big key. I promote it constantly. Get to my website, duckduckplan.com. It's all about education. planning, looking at the different options. And I always tell people I do a lot of different seminars. I offer a lot of different no-cost seminars, Social Security maximization, Medicare maximization, things like that. Because again, it's important for people to become educated. And so many times that a person won't become educated. They won't go see somebody. They won't go to a seminar. And the reason being is they're afraid they're going to be sold, right? They're afraid they're going to be sold. Well, I tell people all the time, listen, can you say no? Eric, can you say no?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. No, you said yes. So can you say no? Eric, I want you to buy this.
No.
Eric, I really want you to buy this.
No, leave me alone.
I really want you to buy. See, so I tell people, listen, you can say no, you're in control. But, become educated, look at the things that can adversely potentially affect you and know what you're doing. I mean, the sad part when I deal with folks is, later on in their retirement life and there's an issue or problem going on, and they say, oh gosh, I wish I'd have known I could have done that. I wish I could have known I could have protected this. I wish I'd have known I could have done that. And my heart goes out to them and I feel for them and I feel bad, but I also want to push back and say, well, listen, it's your job. It's your responsibility to ask for help. Yeah. It's your job and your responsibility because whose money is it?
It's yours.
Your money. It's your money. So again, take a little responsibility, become educated. Again, go to my website, duckduckplan.com. If you'd love to talk to me about any of the topics we have on there, this topic or another topic, you can actually just book a call, just a 15-minute telephone call with me. I'd be happy to talk to you right from our website. You can book that. Actually, you can also go to letstalkscott.com, book a 15-minute call with me, a half-hour call with me. If you're in the local area, the Dayton local area, we also have a office in Columbus. If you're in one of those two different areas, you want to have a one-on-one appointment, you can book it right from that site or call the office. Again, become educated, learn more, and protect your dough. Your dough.
Love it. Great place to end this. Yeah, absolutely. Scott, thank you so much for your time today.
Great. You too. Have an awesome day, buddy.
All right. And of course, our last thank you goes to you, listening audience. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to The Scotty Show with Scott Leonardi. If you have not subscribed to the podcast yet, please click the subscribe now button below. This way, when Scott comes out with a new podcast, it'll show up directly on your listening device. And we humbly ask that you share this podcast, rate it, and leave a review, as this actually does help other people find the show. Again, thanks for listening today. For everyone at Complete Solutions, this is Eric Johnson reminding you it's time to get your ducks in a row.
Thank you for listening to The Scotty Show. Remember, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Live life like it's your job. Click the subscribe button below to be notified when new episodes become available. The information covered and posted represents the views and opinions of the guest and does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of Complete Solutions, Inc. The content has been made available for informational and educational purposes only. The content is not intended to be a substitute for professional investing advice, tax advice, or legal advice. Always seek the advice of your financial advisor or other qualified financial service provider with any questions you may have regarding your investment planning.